Alright, so here's the first example that we're going to go over. So let's take a look here. We can see that this is our symbol. This is y is less than x plus 1. We know that the slope is 1. 1 is the coefficient in front of x. It's a hidden coefficient. And my y-intercept is a positive 1 as well. So my y-intercept is going to be 0, 1. So my slope, m, is 1. And my y-intercept is 0, 1. Also, to be able to graph this inequality, we need to take a look at the symbol and talk about what are we going to use. Are we going to use a dashed line? Are we going to use a dotted line? Are we going to shade above or below? So based on this symbol, we know that we are going to use a dashed line. Also, based on this symbol and the direction that it is going, we are going to shade below. Alright, so let's go ahead and graph this line. Our y-intercept is a positive 1. So from here, I'm going to go up 1, right 1, and this will be the rate of change with my line. Now, as I just stated, we are going to use a dashed line based on that symbol because y has to be less than the line, not equal to, just less than. So our solutions will not be found on the line. Alright, and also we're going to shade below. So I'm going to use a highlighter to shade below this graph. Alright, so any coordinate that we could find in the shaded area is a solution to the inequality. So let's use a really simple one. Let's use 0, 0. This is 0, 0. Right, so this is a solution to the inequality because it is found in the shaded area. Another way to see if it is a solution is to plug 0 in for x and 0 for y into the original equation and see if I get a true statement. So I get 0 is less than or equal to 0 plus 1. Plug 0 in for x and 0 for y. Now 0 plus 1 is 1, so I get 0 is less than 1. This is a true statement. So this is another way for me to know if a coordinate is a solution to the inequality or not. Alright, so let's take a look at number 2, example 2. Alright, so let's identify what the slope is. The slope can be found here. My slope is 2, and my y-intercept can be found here. My y-intercept is negative 1. So let's write that down. M equals 2. My y-intercept is 0, negative 1. Alright, now that we have to graph this inequality, we want to discuss what type of line are we going to use. Is it going to be dashed or is it going to be solid? And are we going to shade above the line or are we going to shade below the line? So that's all based on this symbol. Now looking at the notes above, this is less than or equal to, so since it has this line underneath that inequality sign, I know I'm going to have a solid line. So this will be a solid line. Also based on this symbol, this is y is less than or equal to, I'm going to be shading below that line. Alright, so let's graph it. So I'm going to start at 0, negative 1, that's my y-intercept. My slope is 2, so from here I'm going to go up 2, right 1, up 2, right 1, and this is my rate of change. And I also want to snap my line. So here's my graphed line. Now I want to shade below this line. So here we go, we're going to shade below the line. Now I want to talk about what a solution is. So let's see if 0, 0 is a solution or not. Okay, if I graph 0, 0, the red dot, it's not in the shaded area. So to me this means that this is not a solution to the inequality. But I want to double check it. So I'm going to plug 0 in for x and 0 in for y. So I get 0 is less than or equal to 2 times 0 minus 1. Alright, so I get 0 here. 2 times 0 is 0. 0 minus 1 is negative 1. So my statement says 0 is less than or equal to negative 1. This is not true. So I know 0, 0 is not a solution. So again, any point I find in the shaded area is a solution. So if you pick any coordinate in this area, that is a solution to the inequality. If you pick any coordinate not in the shaded area, that is not a solution to the inequality. Alright, so we're going to move on to the next example. I'm going to go ahead and erase all of this. I'm going to give me a minute here, and I'm going to upload the next example problem. Okay, here we go. So example 3. Now this one is slightly different because this is in standard form. I got x and y on the same side of the equal sign. This is standard form. We want to solve for y, that way we can get it into slope-intercept form. Alright, so to do that, let's subtract x on both sides of the inequality. X minus x is 0. I get y is greater than negative x plus 3. Alright, so here is my slope. My slope is negative 1. And here's my y-intercept. My y-intercept is 0, 3. Alright, so that's what I need to graph that line. Now we want to talk about the symbol. Here's my symbol. This symbol means I use a dashed line. Okay, this symbol is also greater than. That means I'm going to shade above that line. So let's graph it. I'm going to start at 0, 3. And from here I'm going to go down 1, right 1. Because that is my slope. Now this is going to be a dashed line. So I'm not going to fill that line in all the way. Also, I want to shade above this line based on that symbol, so I will shade up here. So again, my solution. A solution to this inequality will be found in the shaded area. So for an example, if I graphed 5, 5, boom, boom, here, that's a solution. If I plug 5, 5 in, 5 is greater than or equal to negative 5 plus 3. Yeah, that's true. Okay, if we plug in 0, 0, that's not true. It is not in the shaded area. I would get 0 is greater than or equal to 3. That's not true. So this is not a solution. Anything in the non-shaded area is not a solution. Alright, last example. So we are going to go through this one. This one is already set up for us, so let's just talk about what the slope is. Slope is 1. My y-intercept is 0, negative 3. So let's graph that y-intercept. We're going to go up 1, right 1. The slope is 1. Let's draw that line. And this is a solid line. I forgot to discuss that. This is a solid line. And y is greater than. So that means I'm going to shade above this solid line. Alright, so again, 0, 0 is a solution here. 0, 0 is in the shaded area. Any point I pick not in the shaded area is not a solution. Okay, so the problems that go along with this are going to be 4.5 in your packet. So you can go ahead and work through those problems using the notebook to go back and forth to check your answers and see if you're graphing it correctly or not.